1357. I'm Joe Sanak, your host, and welcome to the Practice of the Practice podcast, where we help you build a thriving private practice you absolutely love. Just a reminder that today and tomorrow, March 19th and 20th, if you're checking this out on the podcast, is when you can use code LUCKY to get $200 off of your group practice conference ticket. So, top of the morning to you. Hope you get that $200 off and you can get that ticket for $199. So, we are filling up fast with the group practice conference. You're not going to want to miss that. That is going to be March 16th through 20th. You've been able to use that code LUCKY. So, if you're watching the live stream of this, set your calendars March 16th to 20th. Use code LUCKY to get $200 off of your conference ticket. We are filling up fast, and maybe even by the time of this recording, we might be close to full. We're so excited about that conference. I just was talking with Jen about our VIP dinner that's going to be on that Sunday, May 3rd. For all of our VIPs, for our speakers and sponsors. It's going to be right on the water. Just a beautiful time together of awesome food and drinks and just connecting with each other. And then May 4th and 5th, we're going to be hanging out. So grouppracticeconference.com is where you can find all about that as well. I've been building this counseling practice, Great Lakes Online Counseling, and the last episode we talked was about my third interview. The one before that, we were talking about some of the failures in interviewing. Well, I've walked through the process and been interviewing candidates and have come down to a final candidate that have checked their references. And I'm going to walk through kind of all of those steps that I have gone through in kind of moving into the onboarding process. So, first, after that interview where it went really well, I asked this individual to send me all of their licensure, all of their CAQH, NPI, and 3 references. So, after the interview, when it's like the next stage, and I'm also keeping track of this in a Great Lakes Online Counseling checklist in my Google Drive, so that next time I hire, it's a lot easier. So I actually had another lady that I used to supervise reach out to me, who she saw on social media that I was doing this, and we're meeting this Friday to talk through maybe her being a potential fit for Great Lakes Online Counseling. And so it's nice to be able to kind of be using this platform both online and through the podcast, where it kind of perpetuates itself, which I do think gives me a bit of an unfair advantage compared to someone that's just starting completely from scratch, like obviously. But where I've spent my 2 hours in the last week is I verified the individual's licensure, their CAQH, their NPI. I spent some time texting and emailing their references. Each of those references was about a 15-minute conversation. And I'm going to walk through just exactly kind of how I did that. So I texted them and I also emailed them and I said, hi, like say the person's name was Joe. Hi, Joe. You were listed as a reference for candidate for a role as counselor with Great Lakes Online Counseling. I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding their fit for the role as counselor this afternoon or this Friday. I have quite a few times available. Feel free to email me and let me know a time between 9:30 and 12 Eastern or Friday at any time. So as many of you know, I don't work Fridays. And so in a situation like this, I want to move quicker. I want to get through it. So I'm fine doing, a call or two on a Friday. So then on those calls, and I'm taking notes, and I have a separate Google Doc that has all of this so I can document all of this for the HR side of hiring. So first, in what capacity do you know the candidate? So I'm looking for, how did this person know you, and how did they know the candidate? In what capacity? Were they a supervisor? Were they supervised by them? Were they a colleague of them? So then that's going to guide some of my other questions. Whereas if they were a supervisor, if this candidate was a supervisor of you, how were they a supervisor, things like that. Whereas if you were their supervisor or a colleague, that's going to guide some of the other questions. So question 2, can you tell me about a time you saw them handle a clinically complex or high risk client? So I'm trying to get to, like, how do they operate under pressure, and what's their kind of overall stance towards things. Number 3, how would you describe their ability to build rapport with clients who maybe are resistant or disengaged? It's easy to do therapy with people that want to be there. What about people that are a little bit more resistant? So kind of learning about those skills, or if they felt stuck. Number 4, what kind of feedback did they receive well, and where did they tend to get stuck? So if you did supervise them, Did you ever need to give them feedback? If you're a colleague, did you ever see them need feedback? Kind of getting to, are there kind of things going on that you'd want to kind of talk through? Also, if you had a full caseload of clients tomorrow, what type of clients would you feel most confident assigning to them, and which would you hesitate with? So, kind of knowing like what kind of specialty would they be focusing on, just all of that sort of stuff, and just like who would you send there, who wouldn't you? I'm not trying to get at like oh they're bad at this kind of client. It's really I want to have them in this position be at their best, their most alive. I'm a firm believer that the work that we do, whether it's in counseling, in podcasting, as an assistant, whatever, should be aligned with what lights us up. I was just talking to Jen, who's our conference planner for the Great Lakes Online Counseling for the group practice conference. And she was stressed about the conference, but she was so excited about it. She was like, I am loving doing this. I'm loving all the moving parts. I really feel alive. It's like we want our staff to feel that way. We don't work just to like fill the time. Work should be fueling who we are as a human. And so I want that for anyone I hire, even if it's someone brand new. So next, is there anything you'd want me to know to best support them if they join the team? And so, just how do I support them? I'm not looking for just are they a failure in these areas, but like how like are they more like they need to have clear expectations? Are they people that a person that needs to have kind of know where we're headed? Are they a big rule follower? Are like just what are the things that I need to know about this person? Number seven is would you hire this person? I mean, it's funny because in these interviews, some of the people said like, "Hell yeah!" I mean, these are like psychiatrists and like really like, I mean, people that you wouldn't expect that out of. But like when you get that kind of response versus like, "Sure, I'd hire them," or "I'd hire her," "I'd hire him," or versus they're like, "Hell yeah, I'd hire him." Like that's actually like kind of funny. Like that's a pretty dang good endorsement. And then lastly, anything else? Is there anything else I missed? Anything else you want me to know about this candidate? So I try to keep it short, but also you're talking to three people, you start to get some trends, you maybe pick up on a few things, and maybe would be some follow-up questions. So then, once I go through that, next it's moving into kind of the offer letter and the hiring. And so this is where my employment attorney that I've had on here, John Gardner from Bodman Law. So shout out to them, bodmanlaw.com. So that's BODMAN law.com. They're not a sponsor. He's giving me free legal services in exchange for me just sharing his name once in a while on here, which is again a distinct advantage for me that you would have to pay for, but trying to walk through that whole process and say, okay, here's where I would have spent money. So he sent me his whole hiring packet, which I had done kind of like an AI version of it, but his hiring packet was really helpful. So let me just walk through the kind of things that were in there, and then let's just find, I should have had that already up. Where did it go on my desktop? So, oh, there it is, right in front of my face. It's like when you're looking in the refrigerator and you can't find the mayonnaise and it's like right up front because you expect it to be kind of behind. All right, so he sent a corrective action form, which obviously I don't need yet, but so we've got the hiring contract, so employee hiring contract, and then that kind of walks through all the contract information, kind of the signatures. Then we've got, let me just open up the employment agreement. So that's going to walk through the terms of employment. So, like when is someone paid? What are the duties of this position? How much do they get paid either annually or per hour? Do they get paid time off? So this one is the full-time and part-time employment agreement. So I'm not quite there yet. As soon as they're at like 12 sessions a week, that's when we're going to go to part-time and full-time with salaries. And we're talking about like duty to disclose, assignment of rights, non-solicitation, non-competition, acknowledgement, enforcement, agreement, representation, warranty, all those things. So I'll go through this more in depth when we're at the point that we're talking through going from being contractual. I mean, they're not contractors; they're still employees, but getting paid per hour to moving into part-time and full-time. So the contract that I'll be using with that offer letter is going to be walking through just like the application for employment, all of those sorts of things. So John gave me this application for employment. So you have it all in one spot. So it's the name, address, email, telephone, social security number, over 18. A lot of these, I think that I may end up putting as things into DocuSign. So it's a lot easier to just use in the future. That's going to be a lot of work. That'll fill up my 2 hours. So right now, that doesn't feel like a priority. And since I have a lot of this in the resume, I'm going to ask John if I need to have them fill out the employment application in addition. But then the offer letter, non-exempt or an exempt, walks through just all the different things. So the purpose of federal immigration law, you're required to provide the company with documents to verify identity. Company is an equal opportunity employer. All that's in there. It's the position of therapist. Here's how you're getting paid $52 per session. There may be discretionary annual bonuses. So walking through just this offer letter, and then he also sent payroll direct deposit form. We'll be using Gusto, so all those forms come through there as well. So we'll make sure that between John and Gusto, so you can go to gusto.com/Joe if you want to sign up there. I think you get 3 months for free, and you don't pay till you run your first payroll. So yeah, so walking through that paperwork, that offer letter, just kind of deciding what those next steps are. So this week, actually later today, I'm going to be working with Dai from Ubuntu Freelancers. They're going to be the ones that are answering our phones, doing a lot of that behind the scenes. Again, she's waiving the cost of virtual assistant fees in exchange for me talking about them on this podcast. But that would typically run you for probably 20 hours a week, about $1,000 a month. So that's going to be something that you may want to do right away. You may want to save yourself that time. You may want to wait till you get there. There are other packages. If you talk with her, if you need less than that 20 hours a week, or I'm sorry, 20 hours a month. But I think that that's probably going to be good for, when we first get going. I don't really know that we're going to have a ton of calls coming in, but I want to have those all set up before we start doing a lot of marketing push around, kind of doing Google ads and things like that. Kind of as I'm thinking through the marketing side, thinking about people post-divorce, like who I think attorneys are going to be folks that I'm going to reach out to. I think I'm going to get some rack cards made, so some physical ones that I can mail people. And then really starting just boots on the ground. I am going to do in-person networking here locally. I also want to reach out to folks that are throughout Michigan that aren't necessarily probably able to come in person. And so looking at Michigan's Upper Peninsula and kind of virtually connecting with people kind of through the center of the state, in more rural areas in Michigan. And then kind of once I get a good strategy, starting to look at the other states that we're going to cover. So as we talk with different employees, to just look at where are they licensed and how can we have some of their non-clinical hours also kind of follow that model. Because if we have, myself plus two other people, if I'm paying them, $30 an hour for their non-clinical time, and they get, 5 of those per month, that's a great way to kind of get the ball rolling as well. So I want to make sure I have those assets all set up. So I'm probably, as I wrap up the hiring side, we're going to be doing some of the marketing side too, getting them onboarded with Headway, and then working with session sites to get the kind of round two of the website going, where we have all the automations where people can schedule their intake. I want to make sure that if we're scheduling intakes, that it's good to go. So probably going to start opening those up for a couple like a month or so out, so that people can be onboarded. So kind of following my own advice with that, where we have some people in there. So exciting stuff. Really excited to be doing this project just a couple hours a week. It does feel like I want to work more than those 2 hours, but I've given myself 2 hours. It feels like, man, I could go so much faster if I worked more than 2 hours. So for you, I imagine that you'll be able to work more than 2 hours on this. But to me, it's also important to say, this is what I said I'm going to do. This is what I said I'm only going to put into it. So really excited about also kind of being thinking about this. Like, you could have a private practice also that doesn't take insurance through something like Headway. You could be completely out of network. And if you're looking to expand out of network, Thrizer is the best place to go. They're going to help you by doing all the out of network billing. And if you use promo code POTP for Practice of the Practice, you'll get a free trial. They'll also waive the first $2,500 $10 in charges. So if you head on over to join.thrizer.com/Joe, again, that's join.thrizer, and that's spelled THRIZER.com/Joe. They're going to help you with all of those out-of-network benefits. Thank you so much for letting me into your ears and into your brain. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.